So welcome to Tanzania. How do you feel being in Tanzania for the third time or first time?
This is actually my second time.
Second time, wow.
Yes, sir. And first, I'd like to thank my friends at Ethiopian Airlines and the Protea Hotel for making this trip possible. And this is actually my second time to Tanzania. The first time I came when I believe I was 5 years old. And because of how young I was, I forgot about the country's wonderful nature and its wonderful people. So I'm glad I'm able to come back here again.
Okay. So when you came last, you visited some places, or you just landed in Dar and stayed here like you're doing now?
Well, we took a propeller plane. Well, we first came here to stay in a hotel, and then after a few days, we took a propeller plane to, I believe, the Ngorongoro crater to have a safari, and it was a great experience. The nature here is wonderful, and it was great to see the animals in their actual habitat, behaving like themselves. Because in the zoos back home, they tame their lions, so that way they're just sitting there and staring at you. But here on the safari, they're moving around and they're hunting, they're mating. So it was a great experience.
What about the Serengeti, about the Kilimanjaro? Do you know that it was in Tanzania?
Yes, sir. I didn't think we had a chance to visit those two places. I believe we visited Serengeti, but I'm not sure we visited Mount Kilimanjaro.
This October, you're in Dar. Are you going to visit it anywhere?
I'm not really sure. The reason I came here to Tanzania is I launched a Dream Up, Speak Up, Stand Up project, and it was first launched in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, where I spoke to the Lagos Business School and the Grace High School. And the purpose of that program was to inspire young girls to dream up and dream big, but to also believe in themselves and accomplish what they want to in life. So I launched that same project in Malawi. We just came from there yesterday, I believe. And the project went great. I had a great time with the kids there, and they were all really excited, and I'm sure they really enjoyed the speech as well. So I'm hoping that could have the same effect on the children here in Tanzania as well.
I've seen that you've been in the Forbes on the August issue. How do you feel about it, and how do you come to get into that prestigious magazine?
Well, I'm just trying, and it was a wonderful experience. When Forbes interviewed me, I never thought that I was actually going to be the youngest person ever to be interviewed. But I saw the audition, and a few days ago, my dad got mail back from my uncles and aunts, and they said that they were amazed and proud of me for being the youngest person to be interviewed. And it was just an overwhelming experience.
How was the interview?
It was great. They asked me questions about the projects I've been doing, like the Dream Up, Speak Up, Stand Up project, and they also wanted to find out more about how I can balance those projects as long as my normal childhood.
Okay. Tell us about these interviews with all the personalities, the sports guys, the politicians, business people. How many have you interviewed, let's say, the presidents and heads of states? And maybe the business people. How many can you remember?
Well, I believe I've interviewed, from New York, I've just finished interviewing 12 heads of state, I believe in total, 8 African presidents, and I believe 1 prime minister from Africa, and then 3 prime ministers from the Caribbean. And I was also able to interview Reverend Jesse Jackson. And for business leaders, I've been able to interview the richest person in Africa, Mr. Aliko Dangote. And for sports personalities, I was privileged enough to interview the Williams sisters.
Wow, that's great. So whom are you going to interview in Tanzania this time around?
Well,
if you get the chance, of course.
Well, I really want to focus on the children here in Tanzania and inspiring them. And I also like to, if I have a chance, interview some of the kids at the schools to find out about their lives and what they do every day.
Do you get any support from let's say other institutions, organizations to help you reach your dreams or to reach your objectives?
Well, the State House in Tanzania has helped me. They came early yesterday morning to pick us up, or this morning I should say, sorry, to pick us up, and they'll also help me arrange all the schools I'll be able to talk to. And like I mentioned earlier, I'd like to thank Ethiopian Airlines and Protea for making this trip possible as well.
What else do you want to tell Tanzanians? Young Tanzanian guys?
Well, I'd just like to say that if you have dreams, you should always go through and do your best to accomplish them in life. If someone says, "Oh, you can't do this, you're too young," or "You can't do this," you never listen to them. You should just continue on your journey in life and focus on your dreams, so that way you can be successful when you get older.
When do you remember was your happiest moment in whatever you're doing?
Well, my happiest moment is when I see the reaction from the kids, and I can see that I've inspired them to accomplish their dreams. And I also like interviewing the people, the presidents and the business leaders and others. I liked interviewing them because I was able to find out more about their country and what they're doing to help their people. And I was happy to hear that after my interviews, they were all saying that they would do their best to improve their countries and also to help the children.
Where are you getting all this inspiration to do all this?
Well, the girl child has really inspired me. I've seen them on the news, and I see that they have to work, they never get to go to school, and sometimes they get married early. But because I'm an African child, and specifically an African girl child, I don't like seeing those things happen. So I wanted to do something about that problem.
Do you think your interviews with the presidents or leaders make any difference from wherever you are planning to do it?
Well,
does it impact into what you are fighting for? Does interviews have any impact on what you are trying to do?
Well, yes, sir, it does, because I can hear the problems in their country, and I can hear how they're trying to fix it and to improve their country as well. And I can also find out, and they also tell me a lot about the children in their country as well. So I can find out a lot more about their lives, so I can inspire them more through the speeches I'm doing at their schools.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.